Hello YouTubers, Cal here, and this is the first of hopefully many first impressions of new games that are going to come out that I do on YouTube. This in itself is the closed beta for Tom Clancy's The Division, which came out over the weekend that we've just had. I was lucky enough to get a free beta key thanks to a
Word is that they've really trashed
mine,
the place.
Frege.
It would have broken my dad's heart to see it go to hell like this.
Thank you, Frege.
We used to watch games there together.
And after dicking around with some driver settings on my gaming laptop, managed to get it going.
I think it's better
Premise
my
of the
folks didn't
game
live to
is
see any
you're
of this.
a
But
federal
then I think about all the
agent
people
or
doing their best to keep
super
going.
agent that's been activated
That's
by
who we
the
do this for, Agent.
government after
Go get 'em.
there's been a massive contagious viral breakout in the middle of New York City, which is then turned into effectively an apocalyptic wasteland. And your job is to help with a group of other like-minded individuals, law and order back to the city. So what I'm showing you in this footage here is a bit of the cover and shoot mechanics. So this
you'll have to
game
pass by some contaminated areas.
Didn't realise at
There
the
used to be
time
plenty
and
of
had
sick
sort of
people
not
being
know much
treated
about
there
it. Have
before they
realised
got
that it's
shot.
basically what I've been looking for
be careful.
ever since Destiny came out, and it didn't come out on PC. I'm not a console player, I hate to admit, and a bit of a PC snob, and was pretty disappointed when Destiny didn't come out on PC, and I think this may well be a likely substitute. So it's a cover. The main mechanic in combat is, as you'll see in a minute, is a bit of cover and shoot.
And I'm not worried about the
You've got a range of weapons through from a main sort of ranged rifle weapon to a shorter range submachine gun or shotgun, and then you've got a sidearm, which is a pistol. All of these can obviously be upgraded, modified, changed through various elements. Don't need to keep picking up loot or getting money through various means, and purchasing it from supply pieces. So this footage in general is what they call a mission. So this is a bit like I guess you could almost call it a vault or a dungeon run. So you've got a mission, you've got certain tasks to complete. This one I have to rescue a doctor, which then helps with another part of the mechanic later on, which I think I'll show you in the video. Which is basically decking out your base of operations. So in this mission here, my aim is to rescue a doctor, which will then help set up my medical section of the base of operations, which then will get extra bits and pieces as the game goes on. In regards to a beta, it was, I think, pretty well done. First impression was I do like this game. I like the mechanic of it. The game ran relatively smoothly. I did read some reviews that people were a bit upset that the game seems to have been detuned since the E3 and some of the test releases that have been shown at the likes of PAX and stuff.
Keep your heads down and keep it quiet.
I'm a bit of a pragmatist when it comes to this kind of stuff. I'm happy to sort of reduce graphics quality and stuff like this to substitute gameplay. I'd rather have a game mechanic which is stupid stuff to happen versus shiny things. As you can see, these are all NPCs I'm taking at the moment. This guy's charging me, this guy's going. The AI is pretty good. I found it to be reasonably challenging. There's 3 different levels or 4 different levels of NPC based on sort of
The escort party's taking heavy fire from the roof. They can't move
you'll
until
see
you
a
get up there
boss
and
guy
take
that'll
down
come up
that
later.
gunner.
The guys that have got special abilities or drop special loot have actually got names against them. They're
No way we'll make it across the line,
so
but
they're
as
more
long
like
as
the
you
boss
get up
guys
there
or
and
the
take
guys
out the
which
big
give you the
guns.
sort of rare and special stuff.
All yours, Agent.
What else can I talk about? The controls were reasonably easy to get the hang of. They're pretty, for a PC, that's the standard WASD kind of stuff. I use an Astromate gamepad normally, and I found binding it a bit awkward just with some of the controls. What is interesting is you do get, as you progress through, what's called 2 special powers. You'll see on the bottom of the right hand screen I've got a Q and E binding there. The E at the moment, all I've got at the moment is one of those bound, which is a sticky grenade. The other one I do level up and get later. They're basically kind of traits that you can then attribute to your character, and it gives you kind of defines your class. So you've kind of got 3 simple setups. You can either be a medic or a tank or a DPSer, a bit like most sort of traditional MMO roles, and those quirks or special abilities can be added up. Can be
Alpha Escort,
to suit.
we have an agent
What
on
I
the
like
roof.
about this,
Has Candle made it to your
being said by a
position?
few reviewers, and I tend to agree with them, is that the benefit is they're not hard-locks. So the skill trees aren't, once you've picked particular skill trees and they're upgradable, that's it. You've earned some form of penalty for removing them and changing them. You can change and modify them to suit, which is really good if you end up in a group of four, and then you need to, for some particular reason, you have to change your role in the game, which is good. You just go back to the main base, or in fact, you just skip it. So this bit here, I'm actually just sort of taking on the final boss of the mission. So a bunch of guys are rushing at the moment. Some guys will have some guns or rockets. There's actually one faction called the Cleaners, which run around with they're basically garbage collectors and sanitary workers that now run around with flamethrowers. You can get kind of constant. These guys are red tag that's showing up. So you can see here that the cover and shoot, this is me for launching a grenade. The grenade becomes pretty good too. You can get a rough idea of where I am. But I did like the concept of the cover, hide, sort of cover shoot, and if you control, your character will then either leap over or scoot around and that thing. So it makes you think a little bit tactically about where you're positioned, how you can flank a player, get a better line of fire, that kind of thing. So we'll see me move around in a minute. So, up on me, and I've just mowed him down with an M4. You'll see a little bit of an example of this in a minute. I basically try and sort of sneak around a corner. Just going. So you see here what I've done, use the control key and sort of cover and move mechanically to try and punch the guy.
Got the medic safely across. Candle and all
So,
staff accounted for.
and then we go through and do the normal kind of MMO
We're off to a
thing,
good
and
start,
pick up the
Agent.
swag, run around.
Wish I could have had your back out there, but I
A
think
lot
we
of,
make a
I
hell
guess
of
the
a
other
team
thing too
anyway.
is I found
When you
even
get back to
going
the
through
base,
city,
we'll talk
there's
to Candle,
a
and
lot
we'll see
of,
what she can do for us.
well-used locations for picking up kit. You can just be wandering down the street and all of a sudden there'll be a case or a backpack or something rolling around that you can pick up bits and pieces in, which is always handy. Likewise too, the spawning of NPCs in random locations, which can be good or bad, is a good tactic. Another good one too is that some people, it's a pretty sparsely populated place, obviously in the middle of a post-apocalyptic wasteland. There's a few sort of feeble souls rolling around, and some of them actually do, you do sort of scan and they ask for help, and you can give them things, and that you get rewarded for being a bit of a kind heart and giving stuff, which I kind of liked. I thought that was a nice touch for a game of such as this. The use of sort of varying levels as well, I quite liked. It did feel like you were sort of running around a city and climb up onto vehicles and climb chain fences and scale the outside of buildings and stuff through the fire escapes and stuff, which I thought which again was pretty cool. So here we go. This is the sort of a good demonstration of the inventory system. It's fairly straightforward. So this is me equipping myself with an attribute. So I've already got the sticky grenade. I can go with security, which is more like extra armor, which is more sort of a tanking thing, and it's just telling me exactly what I need to do. I found equipping stuff a little bit clunky, mainly just because I probably just didn't quite understand it, being a bit slow, I suppose. But once I got the hang of it, it was pretty straightforward. Alright, finally got the hang of it. There you go. I've finally equipped my second ability. So that's what they call a pulse. So it's like a momentary radar. It allows me to detect enemies, and it also gives a buff to fellow teammates of a certain critical hit chance over a limited period of time. So this is me mucking around with different weaponry. I've just picked up a new police M4, which is slightly better than my other gun. And then you can also go in and do things like add muzzles and scopes and extra side grips and things, and they just all add to the stability and the range. And here we go, I've got a scope here, hollow sight, which I've decided, yep, I'm going to equip that to my weapon, to my primary weapon. There we go, get a funky little inventory. It's telling me there that that slot's empty. You can even paint the guns different colours. You can pick up colours along the way. I managed to pick up hot pink from some random who I gave some water to, which was quite funny. And there we go, one hollow sight added, and it adds extra boost, like it adds range, and what's interesting too is that when you actually use a weapon with a scope, you got a second key binding, and you actually can look down range on the scope. So obviously things like sniper rifles and stuff will be able to get nice ranged headshots for those that are so inclined. Likewise, I've picked up some extra armor, so I'm just arming that up. And you get extra bits and pieces. As you can see, you can get extended mags. You can get more rounds per before you actually have to reload, and then you've got other bits and pieces. What this doesn't show, I don't think, is you actually also get as you travel along extra aesthetic items, so clothes for your character. And what I found pretty cool about this was the actual stuff that you get is actually reasonably realistic. So you're not getting sort of nanite armor or something kind of too out there, but it's actually kind of cool. Like we in another video that'll be up on YouTube shortly, me and Freege and a couple other guys from ARM joined together and play in the Dark Zone, which is the PvP part of the Division, where a lot of things, anything goes basically. But he ended up putting skinny jeans on his character, and we all came to the conclusion that the armed uniform would be from now on skinny jeans, just for the hell of it. So you can go full hipster if you want in this game. I don't really understand as to why, but you can. So now I'm making my way back to the head of operations, which is your basically I think it's a disused post office or central station. Might even be central station. So basically where I was Madison Square Garden, for those who know New York reasonably well. So here we go, there's the Joint Task Force head office, so in I go. And this is your home away from home, this is your main base. And this is a bit like base building in MMO, and you effectively need to go out and do missions and different side quests and stuff to get bits of stuff to improve, to collect different bits of kit to improve your base. So here we go, normal trading shenanigans, go through buy and sell stuff from vendors, which all funnily enough seem to be members of the armed service. So looking through, not much I'm going to buy, but I'm going to sell some kit.
Just shot in their beds. Who does that? Doesn't that impact you at all?
So while I'm mucking around with that, impressions. Well, as you can probably gathered, I like it. With any beta, there was always some hiccups. I run dual cards, one on board, one off board on my gaming laptop.
Sales are final.
Took me a bit to get it going, just because the game wouldn't recognise my off board card, and running it through the Intel HD 4000 was just terrible. But my gaming, the thing I did like though is my gaming laptop, although it was sort of near to high end when I bought it sort of 3.5 years ago, it ran this seamlessly. I don't think the settings were super high. I definitely didn't run it on mega high res to try and push how hard it would go. I think it was on medium res or thereabouts. I didn't really pay too much attention, but it was smooth. The gaming was good. There was no lag. Didn't find any issues with bullet drop or any bullet hit reg or anything else like that while playing. No weird glitch. Well, we did see some weird glitching in the PvP, but nothing sort of that you wouldn't expect in a beta. So look, generally pretty happy with it. There's a few things with the UI that were a bit clunky, that just sort of, as you could see with me trying to set up my abilities, it all got a bit weird, and the interface sort of is going to take a little bit of getting used to. Wouldn't call it a game breaker though. For someone who's like me, who's looking for a game that is not a full-blown MMO that you kind of have to spend, days and days and days grinding stuff to get kit.
That's a deal.
And it's got a good PvE element to it, so it's got a good storyline and history, and there's a couple of other elements to it that like involve investigations while you're looking for missing persons and stuff, and those kind of things. I think there's going to be pretty cool. The PvP concept's interesting for those who have heard about it. Basically, it's like a separate section of the city that you can go into, and you can effectively kill fellow players, but you then become rogue, and when you become rogue,
look who it is.
So here, this is a reward for me rescuing.
Thanks for getting me out of the garden.
Doctor.
I've been in some hostile work environments before, but Jesus.
I need to do to help improve her medical center.
It's not like this place is going to win any prizes either. Antique equipment, 0 staff, patients lining up out the door. This isn't going to cut it.
We're doing the best we can, Dr. Candle. Any suggestions you might have, I'm happy to listen.
I know. Beggars, choosers, all that crap.
We've seen the full game.
What matters is beating this thing, but I can't do that without knowing more about it.
And here's a good place to start. Sarah is pretty sure Dr. Gordon Amherst had something to do with the outbreak.
God. That asshole. Saw him present a paper at Columbia once. He nearly started a riot. He's part of this. I need to talk to him. Anything of his you can find. Notebooks, laptops, close personal friends, I need that too. And we need to talk about live samples and antibodies.
Yeah, so in most MMOs,
gonna be busy.
Your job is to go
And
and
you'll
find
be
stuff. Go
fixing
find me stuff
this.
that helps me run this place
Saving
better.
lives. Now if you'll excuse me, I'll
and
get
of
started.
course, yeah, you can go get different side missions which allow you to do that. And you can then upgrade elements of that. So that's the base building element of it. So back to first impressions. Look, in summary, I will probably play this. I will probably play this fairly regularly. I don't know if I'll get full, full RL, for roleplay headlong into it, but I think I think it'll be a bit of fun. It'll be the kind of game that I can get on and play with a few mates. Sorry, going back to the PvP element, when you go rogue, the enemy, other players can then go and kill you and effectively get rewarded for it. So it's kind of like you can team kill your friends, you can team kill other players, friendly kill other players, but you get penalized for it. So it's kind of, I think it's kind of an interesting spin on the whole ganking thing that can sometimes happen in PvP, where you go in, get a bunch of loot, and someone kills you to catch that loot.
I can't thank you enough.
I think you'll find that some players will actually still do that, but then other players will become almost like police and try and monitor bits and pieces. So, in short, thanks for watching. Appreciate the view. Please like and subscribe to my channel. And look forward to more Project Cars, more Mech Warrior, and possibly some more Division when it comes out.